What if up became down, and the world you thought you knew decided to let go? In a single heartbeat, the ordinary became impossible, and a pair of siblings found themselves running, not from danger, but toward the secret holding the sky upside down. The city was just waking up. Sunlight kissed the windows of high-rises. Steam rose lazily from coffee cups clutched in tired hands. A school bell echoed faintly in the distance, and pigeons took their usual flight from the pylons like clockwork. Everything was normal until it was. It began with a faint hum, barely noticeable, like a wire under strain. Then, in the span of a breath, gravity broke. Coffee cups hovered midair, liquids suspended in glistening spheres. Smartphones tumbled upward from hands. Cars lifted silently off the roads, slowly rotating like lazy balloons. People screamed not out of fear but confusion as their feet left the ground. It wasn't violent. It was dreamlike, wrong, impossible. In the heart of it stood a teenage girl, frozen, breath hitched. Her backpack slipped from her shoulders and floated up. She snatched it, her eyes wide with a mixture of awe and horror. Her dark hair drifted around her head like she were underwater. Around her, city dwellers flailed helplessly midair, drifting like marionettes cut from their strings. The modern cityscape twisted into a surreal scene of floating taxis, spinning umbrellas, and drifting shoelaces. Neon lights blinked sideways, billboards flickered, but what gripped her wasn't the chaos. It was a glimmer, a shimmer in the distance, just above the skyscrapers, like a beacon pulsing with purpose. Something had flipped the world, and it was calling her. The world no longer obeyed the rules. That much was clear. With gravity sideways, the girl and her younger brother bolted along a vertical building wall. What was once a sidewalk, now a sheer cliff below. The city had turned on its axis, and they had turned with it. Each step launched them forward in ways physics should have done it. They darted between broken windows, using door frames as footholds. Their hair whipped in the wind, their shadows cast at impossible angles by floating neon signs and twisted strut-lumps. Skyscrapers leaned like dominoes frozen mid-fall, their glassy surfaces catching sunlight from skewed horizons. Flocks of birds passed upside down, wings moving in eerie slow motion. Trash can spun in the air like forgotten satellites, and through it all they ran. The girl shouted something over the wind to her brother, who was 2 paces behind, face set with fierce determination. They weren't running away, they were chasing the glowing orb that had passed them just moments ago, slipping through gravity like it owned the rules. Down alleys that now climbed toward the sky, across rooftop gardens now serving as roads, they moved like dancers in a sideways ballet. One wrong step meant tumbling into the sky. One moment's hesitation could separate them forever. But the girl didn't hesitate. Her eyes were locked on the orb now zigzagging toward an upside-down park, trailing tiny sparks like breadcrumbs. The world had turned on them, but they were ready to turn it back. The park once perched gently in the city's heart. Now, it hovered overhead like a dream reborn. Trees stretched down from the clouds like green chandeliers. Benches clung sideways to vertical paths. Swings hung from thin air, swaying lazily above upside-down rooftops. And at the center of it all darted the orb, glowing, alive, and mischievously evasive. The siblings followed it upward, bounding from a tilted merry-go-round, leaping across floating tree branches. Their breaths came quick, not from exhaustion but from awe. The world had never looked so strange, or so beautiful. As they landed on an upside-down hill, the girl skidded to a halt, hand shielding her eyes. The orb hovered ahead, pulsing like a heartbeat. Around it, gravity bent like ripples in a pond. Leaves floated in spirals, and birds flapped helplessly in looping orbits. The boy reached out instinctively, but the orb darted away again. Their eyes met, not a word needed. They had to catch it, not just for the city for understanding, for control. Because the longer it floated free, the more their world unraveled. With renewed energy, they plunged deeper into the twisted park. Through tunnels that curved into the sky, past statues bent at surreal angles, they chased it. And the deeper they went, the more the girl noticed. Gravity wasn't broken. It was being played with, choreographed, by something or someone. The top of the skyscraper loomed like an island in a broken sky. Its surface was smooth, its edges curled like pages in a book. And there, hovering just inches above the rooftop, was the orb. The wind howled. The sun sank low, casting the city in a blanket of fire and amber. Long shadows danced across twisted towers. The girl and her brother stood at the edge, hearts pounding. They had cornered it, at last. She stepped forward slowly. The orb pulsed in time with her heartbeat. Around it, pebbles floated, twisted in orbit. Her fingers twitched. A single touch could end this, or make it worse. "We have to destroy it," her brother said. His voice shook with fear and certainty. "But what if it's not evil?" she countered. "What if it's protecting something?" They stared at each other, a standoff of belief. The wind lashed at them. The orb waited. Tension built like a coiled spring. Emotions surged. Uncertainty, fear, hope. A world was balanced on a decision between two children. Then she stepped forward, just one step, eyes locked on the shimmering core, and reached out. Her fingertips brushed the orb. It didn't resist. It welcomed her. A shockwave rippled outward, silent but powerful. Across the city, gravity obeyed. Cars sank gently to the streets. Cups found tables. People floated down like feathers, blinking in disbelief. The park rerouted itself beneath their feet. The trees, the swings, the air, everything realigned, like puzzle pieces falling into place. The girl and her brother hovered in the stillness, weightless for one last breath. Then, softly, so softly, they descended, touching ground beneath the golden light of dusk. The orb, gone, dissolved into sparkles, or maybe hiding, maybe waiting. In the middle of the park, the girl sat, her backpack beside her, her heart still racing, but her eyes no longer held panic, only wonder and reflection. The world had returned, but something within her had shifted forever. Was it bravery, understanding, or was it the first touch of something even greater? If you held the power to bend reality, even for a moment, would you use it to fix the world or reshape it?